morning, dear hearts. Lesson 4. Please subscribe. Today's lesson: these thoughts do not mean anything. They are like the things I see in this room, on the street, from the window, in this place. These thoughts. Now, this is going to be a couple of spoiler alerts. I personally, and again, because I've done the lessons upwards 27, 28 times now, I often go between these thoughts and my thoughts. That's a spoiler alert, and you'll know why in just a week or so. But these thoughts don't mean anything. Today, the lesson begins with thinking. We are to examine our mind and see what thoughts are coming through it. Now remember what I said the other day, that according to science, and depends what source you look at, we have upwards of 60,000 thoughts that come to us on any given day. So, for me to say these thoughts do not mean anything, I also have to realize that I'm probably being inundated with a number of thoughts. But if I look at them, I'm going to probably single some out and think that, well, this is a good thought or that is a bad thought. The lesson wants us, the practice wants us to apply this idea that these thoughts do not mean anything to any thought, whether we judge it as a good thought or we judge it as a bad thought. Are you a good witch or a bad witch? So, sorry, can't help myself. Don't want to. So our thoughts, it says, represent a mixture that, in the sense, none of them can truly be called good or bad, and that's why they don't mean anything. We think with a split mind right now because our mind is untrained, so we can assign the good thoughts to the ones that we believe are coming from our higher self. But even the good thoughts, as this lesson tells us, are simply a shadow of what we will experience after we go through this peeling off of the way we have been thinking and come to a more sustainable and trained mind. And the bad thoughts are blocks to, as the beginning of the course tells us, the awareness of love's presence. My bad thoughts, my small thoughts, my insignificant thoughts, my meaningless thoughts are going to block me from seeing what is real and what is true. The key word for today, by the way, is meaningless, because these thoughts do not mean anything. So this lesson also tells us this is a major exercise. We have other lessons further on that are called giant strides. This is a major exercise, and it will be repeated in different forms. Some of them you will immediately recognize, and others, as you get into that lesson, will go, oh, well, that's like, yes, it is. Because the repetition in the workbook is how we are undoing the mind that has been mired down in unhappy thoughts and an unhappy life and is untrained, to get to a space where we think happy thoughts. It sounds like going to Never Never Land, and in a way it is, because we are meant to be happy. That is actually God's will for us. Again, more spoiler alerts, but back to the lesson. So, as we are doing the practicing and to see that, this thought is unhappy, this thought, I want to align with it, I'm calling it a good thought. But what the lesson there is telling us, where we will get to, is to realize that everything that we consider to be meaningless is within us. Everything we think is meaningless is actually going to be outside of us. Everything that is meaningful, ultimately, we will recognize as being within. But when we are using these thoughts, okay, sorry for this mess up right there, but even after so many years. And so this thought, to come to it when we see a thought that is bothering us or disturbing us in any way or just confusing us, to say that this thought about blank, fill in the blank, does not mean anything. It's like all of the things that I see in this room, on the street, out the window, in this place, so on and so forth. We are not to do this exercise for more than about a minute each time, but we are to repeat it 3 or 4 times during the course of the day. If you come to a space where it's disturbing to you, disturbing your peace, then stop, because again, we will come back to this lesson at another time. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We have far to go in this journey of the undoing of our ego mind. And we will get there, and we will get there together. So, meaningful things are within. Everything that is truly meaningless, I recognize as being outside of myself. So, that's it for today. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. Please pray. Please be here tomorrow.